Absolutely. This place was electric, and on match point, everybody out with their phones. Look, this was the third match of the tournament for Lorenzo Musetti where he had to fight back, losing the first set 6-1. How does that make this even more impressive?
Well, being able to have that kind of composure in these conditions, which have been pretty rough all week. Yesterday is the first day where they had to deal with rain, and boy, they had to deal with it at the roughest times. I think that first rain delay helped Musetti quite a bit. He was down 6-1, momentum all with Alex de Minaur, and then he was able to jump on it right away, turn up his energy, change his physiology a little bit, got a bit more aggressive, so that helped him. There was a slight rain delay at the end of the third when he was about to serve for it. All of a sudden, that worked against his favor. But just being able to stay within the moment, I think that's been huge. Coming from a set down a variety of times this week, it's been marvelous. And that match against Stefanos Tsitsipas in the previous round, he had to manage quite a bit there. That was late in the day. He's been through a lot this week. He's got one more, though. I need him to have a little bit more fuel in the tank so he can give it a great shot tomorrow.
We'll look ahead to that matchup in just a moment. First, give some flowers to the Australian and Alex de Minaur. There were multiple times sitting here next to you while we watched this live that you just yell, he's a dog. Look, he self-proclaimed himself a clay dog now. What is it about his game that you think can find him some success on this clay court? And what impressed you the most out of him today?
I'll tell you what impressed me the most. It's the same thing that impresses me every single day about this guy, and that regardless of the circumstances, I mean, we had a packed center court out here today, and there was just about every single human in the building who was cheering for Lorenzo. At the end of that third set, it was Lorenzo. They were just all cheering in unison, and that's a lot. That's a lot to be able to handle that. Everyone hanging on you to be able to make an error, and he dug down, found his best tennis towards the end there, pushed it into 5-all. He's one of the best competitors we have on the ATP Tour. Doesn't have that big howitzer of a weapon, but his heart was pretty much pumping through his chest today. Exceptional to see. I think that's going to stand him in really great stead. But once he takes a little bit of a step back and realizes how close he was to getting over the line here, I think there's so many positives for him to be able to take away. Let's not forget the wild 6-love, 6-love scoreline against Grigor Dimitrov, 6-2, 6-2 against Daniil Medvedev, a former winner at the Rome 1000. He's got a lot of good stuff going for him, and this is just the first big event of the clay court season.
And started this one off strong, too, at that 6-1 first set. So definitely a great tournament out of Alex de Minaur, but the championship match is officially set. We're going to be watching a battle between the silver medalist and the bronze medalist, and Carlos Alcaraz and Lorenzo Musetti. Now, they have met quite a few times before, 4 to be exact. It's Lorenzo Musetti that won the first matchup, but since then, it's been one-way traffic for Carlos Alcaraz, and they've been fairly straightforward, Prakash. Do you expect this one to be a close affair?
Well, I think Lorenzo's going to have to call upon a lot of what he used today. And in the intangibles, that's certainly the crowd. He's been getting fed from them all week. Carlitos is the crowd favorite anywhere he goes, but I think even against Carlitos, the crowd here, a very pro-Italian crowd, is going to be trying to get Musetti over the finish line. And he's going to have to manage the moment well. He's done that well all week, but this is his first Masters 1000 final. There is going to be a lot going through his body. This is my first chance to grab a title like this. Carlitos has been there so many times, and we know he saves his best tennis for the finals. I lean towards Carlitos, but Lorenzo showed a lot of great combination of defense and offense. He went into lockdown mode when he needed to. He stepped up, got aggressive when he needed to today. I think he's got to shift that ratio a little bit more in the aggressive nature. If he gets a little too passive, Carlitos is too creative and has too much firepower for that out there.
Very macro perspective of what Lorenzo Musetti needs to do. If you get into the weeds of the strategy here, what do you want to see him beyond the aggression? Is there a certain shot you think that could really help him out?
Well, today, what I did love from him is he moved his backhand slice around nicely, and at the right opportune moments, he took that backhand up the line beautifully. He got a bunch of winners, free points on some huge occasions there. He also fired some big serves when he needed to, got some free points. I don't think he can give Carlitos a look at a lot of second serves. His second serve doesn't have a lot of juice on it. Carlos has been standing well behind the baseline. He is going to run around and be able to give it a good wail throughout the entire match. So a lot of first serves in that last game. 5-6, 30-all, came up with a huge ace up the tee, 134 miles an hour. That kind of clutch serving will come in very handy, taking those backhands up the line. And the forehand, that's just got to be a given. He can't have an off day with the execution on that forehand.
Let's not forget, coming into this tournament, Carlos Alcaraz was not playing his best tennis. His form was having a lot of people question just how good will he play at this tournament. Since then, we've seen him play better and better matches as the tournament has progressed. How much do you think he has left in the tank, and have we seen the best version of Carlos Alcaraz yet?
No, I certainly don't think so. We've seen matches from Carlos Alcaraz where he can just come out there and he just lights it up start to finish. So that's his high level. When he's playing his high level, I don't think there's a person on this planet who can beat him. I do think when Sinner and him are playing at their highest level, it looks like an absolute video game. But I think at that level, Carlitos takes him out. Sinner is just able to play at a higher level at a more consistent basis. Carlos has a few more dips. But I think Carlos has found his way into the final here, not playing his absolute best, which is a scary thing. He's able to find himself through so many of these matches because he's so exceptional in the big moments. He has a clutch gene, which he just absolutely cannot teach. And I think he's ready for this. I think he wants this. He came in, as you said, maybe not feeling ultimately confident with that early round loss to David Goffin in Miami. But from the first match, I love Clay. I love Clay. He's so uberly positive, and even when he's not in a great spot, he's able to work his energy into that positive spot. It's a thing to marvel. I get inspired by it every time I see it.
Well, this is the third Masters 1000 of the year, right? We had Jack Draper win Indian Wells, Jakub Mensik win Miami. There's a possibility here that it won't be Carlos Alcaraz that lifts the trophy here, and Lorenzo Musetti could do that. If that were to happen, what does that say about the state of tennis right now?
Listen, I love it. I just, it makes me feel like there's so much talent out there and everyone is having that self-belief of, you know what, why not me? I can step up. Well, if Mensik can do it, then I certainly can do it. If Draper can do it, I can do it. If Musetti can do it. And I think that's going to spur a lot of players on to be able to think, you know what, they can actually do it. The top few at the top aren't completely invincible. Even Tabilo having a win over a Djokovic like this, it used to be a little bit of a untouchable thing 3, 4, 5 years ago when you had, of course, the three greatest at the top, Roger, Rafa, and Novak. So I think it's a little bit more of an open time right now. It's very exciting. Sasha Zverev, who has been sort of at the top and number 2 after Yannick Sinner, with him being away from the game, he hasn't stepped up in the manner that he'd like. You better believe he's going to be coming back hungry after this event. But I'd love to see it. I think it would be very exciting, but I do heavily lean towards the Spaniard for the final.
Are you just getting your pick in now because we wouldn't let you pick Carlos Alcaraz's match to start the day?
We wouldn't let me pick? Oh, you wouldn't let me pick. But you know what, D? I will always bow down. I will let you always go first. Tomorrow's only one match, so we may have the same pick.
One extra win in the win column here for Danny. That's what I got out of that sentence, Prakash.